everybody, today I'm going to show you how to paint this abstract mountain landscape with gouache. Since this is a YouTube tutorial, it is pretty fast, but if you want a slower step-by-step guide on a gouache landscape, make sure to check out my free course in which you will learn a lot of tips and tricks around gouache and paint this landscape in about half an hour. I will link it in the description box below. So don't forget to check it out. So I'm getting started with my colors here. I'm gonna use a lot of purples and pink tones, but a little bit faded and washed out. I kind of like that it's a little bit more on the dirty side because it's not super vibrant, even though we have a lot of colors. So I like to just use the colors that I already have on my palette. The beauty of this tutorial is that you can recreate this in any color palette, so you don't have to obsess over getting the exact same colors that I'm using here. You can see I started the sky with this pink tone, then I did a little bit of a gradient at the bottom for our foreground, and now I'm already painting some mountains, and this is very doodly. This is very intentionally simple, but I feel like it's still very cute. I just made sure that I alternate the colors a little bit. So we have the green tones at the bottom, then we have the dark purple on the left, then we have a warm color on the right as well, then we have a little bit of green again, now we have a little bit of purple again. So you know what I mean. I'm alternating these colors a little bit and going back and forth between pink, purple tones and the more green tones. So now I'm doing some lines on here. This is honestly the fun part because you can get so many details to this painting and it's so abstract. So you can really go intense with this and add as many doodles and lines, whatever you want to this. So you can see I have a lot of different shapes on here, and again I'm alternating the things. So because I did a purple here, I'm now doing more green tones again, and these are basically the two colors that I use, like the pink purple tones and the green teal tones. So I'm just going back and forth between those two, and this ensures that I don't have too many colors on my palette. I also have very dark colors that are almost black and the gray color, and now you can see I'm doing a lot of little doodles in the foreground with some white, and I think this adds a very playful element to the whole thing. So we have some little lines and these little squiggles. I have no idea how to describe all of these things, but you see what I'm doing here, and I just added that to a few of the shapes. And then we have a little bit of purple here in between those more green tones again, and I did more of these things, whatever we want to call these, like these half circle line things. I really like those actually. And now I'm using this greenish teal color. I really love this color actually. It's very, very pretty. And I'm very happy with how the color scheme on this one turned out. But again, you could do this with any color scheme. You could do this with orange and green, or orange and blue would probably look cool. I imagine orange and purple would also look good. Apparently I want to see this in orange because every single one of those combinations just included orange. So you can see that my top mountains have covered the sky now, and I'm just filling everything in at the moment. And you can also see in the sky we have a lot of these watercolor-ish effects. I mean, this is gouache and not watercolors, but if you're using watercolor paper and you water your gouache down a lot, you might get some watercolor effects here and there. But for the foreground elements for all of our mountains, I didn't wash the gouache down too much, so I didn't add as much water because I wanted the gouache to be opaque here. So we have kind of a little bit of a difference between the sky kind of background and the foreground elements that are a little bit more opaque. I know this is pretty fast, but I hope that all of this makes makes sense to you and that you can recreate your scenery in your own way and get inspired by this little tutorial. And again, if you want something that's not as sped up and not as fast, check out my courses, check out my new free course. Everything is linked in the description box down below. You can see I added a moon and stars. This always adds the magical touches that really finish off a painting, but we're not done yet. We are still adding some details to our mountains. And you can see now I'm drawing a thin white line around some of these shapes in the background. So just adding these details that we've done from the beginning. So we have a little bit of an outline on all of these shapes. I think that really adds a lot, makes it look more abstract and fun. And I had a lot of fun playing around with this idea, and I might do more of these. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see more landscapes like this, because I really enjoyed this one, and it's very customizable. I think you could do this in so many different ways. So here's the finished painting. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!